Let me start with Nashville, because this is where buyers can get fooled by a cooler market. When people hear inventory is up, they think the deal is automatic. It is not. Greater Nashville realtors showed more than 12,300 homes available across the region, up 12% from last year. Another report put Nashville near 97 days on market. So yes, sellers are listening now. They are offering incentives. They are cutting expectations. But if the home still sits around the high $400,000 range, the monthly payment is not friendly. Nashville is not cheap just because it's slowed down. It is a popular market finally asking buyers slowed down. It is a popular market to do adult math. Dallas is a different kind of trap. The city looks strong from far away. Jobs, airports, corporate money, suburbs, and people still moving through North Texas. But here is where I would slow down before touching the contract. In Texas, the price is only one layer. The tax bill, insurance quote, special districts, roof age, and commute can change the deal after the excitement wears off. The Dallas Fed found Texas homeowners insurance premiums jumped 73% from 2019 to 2024. That is not a small adjustment. That is a payment shock. So when Dallas-Fort Worth listings start cutting prices, I do not just see weakness. I see buyers finally refusing to pay yesterday's dream with today's paycheck. Orlando is the emotional trap, because people do not only buy Orlando with a calculator. They buy the idea of Florida, sunshine, short-term rentals, Disney traffic, family vacations, and lifestyle. That is exactly why buyers need to be careful. Realtor Linked reporting said Orlando Kissimmee Sanford had more than 20% of listings with price cuts in February, and one local advisor said Orange County saw 750 price cuts in 1 week. But the deeper problem is not just the cut. Florida homeowners face hidden costs around $24,700 a year, and many owners deal with homeowner association or condo fees. A discounted Florida house can still become an expensive monthly machine. Buffalo is almost the opposite of Orlando, and that is why it belongs in this video. Nobody is buying Buffalo because of palm trees or vacation fantasy. They are looking because the price finally feels possible. Recently I saw realtors reporting, which put Buffalo among the few big markets, still under $300,000, with active listings up more than 20%. That sounds like relief, especially for buyers leaving expensive coastal markets. But this is where I would walk the house slowly. Older roofs, heating systems, basements, insulation, snow, taxes, and repairs matter here. Buffalo can give a buyer real entry, but if the inspection is weak, that affordable house can start charging rent to your savings account. Now look at Indiana and South Carolina side by side, because they teach two totally different lessons. Indiana is the practical market. Indianapolis was still far below the national price level, and Indiana homes were selling faster than the national average, around 31 days in one recent Redfin-based report. That tells me clean, affordable homes still get attention. South Carolina is the growth market. It led the country in population growth at 1.5%, mostly from people moving in from other states. But growth does not mean safety. In Indiana, the trap is waiting too long on the good house. In South Carolina, the trap is loving the migration story before checking insurance, flood risk, taxes, and the real monthly carry. Let me ask you something. When people talk about Nashville today, do they talk about the payment, or do they talk about the brand? Music, restaurants, downtown cranes, new apartments, out-of-state buyers, that whole image. But go back to the late 90s. Nashville-Davidson was still a growing southern city, moving from about 488,000 people in 1990 to around 569,000 by 2000. That growth became the foundation of today's price pressure. So when a buyer now says, Nashville cooled down, I say, cooled from what? From frenzy? From hype? From sellers thinking every house was special? Cooling does not mean cheap. It only means the buyer finally has time to ask better questions. Dallas teaches a harder lesson because Dallas never really acted small. Even in 1990, the city was already above 1 million people, and by 2000, it was close to 1.2 million. That kind of scale changes real estate psychology. People see jobs, airports, finance, sports, suburbs, and they assume the payment is protected. But let me be direct. Growth does not pay your escrow account. You pay that. Property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and special districts can turn a normal-looking Dallas payment into something that feels heavy every single month. So what do you think matters more, the city's confidence or your ability to sleep after the first tax bill arrives? Orlando is where I would tell buyers, do not let the postcard sell you the mortgage. But the real story was bigger than the city line. Disney, tourism, celebration, master-planned communities, and the late 90s downtown building boom changed the way people imagined Central Florida. Today, that imagination is expensive. A buyer sees sunshine and thinks opportunity. A lender sees debt to income. An insurer sees risk. A homeowner association sees monthly dues. Ask yourself this before buying there. If the short-term rental dream disappears, if insurance rises, if fees jump, does the house still make sense as a normal home? Buffalo is the city where I slow my voice down, because this is where cheap can make buyers careless. This is not Orlando. This is not Nashville. Buffalo's story is older, heavier, and more complicated. The city spent decades dealing with population loss, deindustrialization, and older housing stock. By 2000, Buffalo had under 300,000 people, and many homes were already carrying age in the walls, basements, pipes, roofs, and heating systems. So when I see a low price in Buffalo, I do not clap immediately. I ask, what is hiding behind that price? Winter does not care about your budget. A furnace does not care that the house was affordable. Cheap only works when the structure cooperates. Indiana and South Carolina are the comparison I want buyers to keep in their head. Indiana is the quiet math state. It can give buyers lower entry points, and Bankrate-linked reporting even placed Indiana among the lowest hidden cost states for homeowners. That matters. But low cost does not remove competition for clean homes. South Carolina is different. It is the growth story, the migration story, the warmer weather story. The state crossed 5 million people in the 2020 census, and recent migration kept pushing attention into places like Greenville, Columbia, Charleston, and the coast. But growth can seduce buyers. Indiana asks, can you move fast on the right house? South Carolina asks, can you survive the hidden cost after the move? Here is how I would underwrite these markets before I ever trusted the listing price. First, I would add the mortgage. Then I would add property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance, homeowner association fees, and one repair reserve that nobody wants to talk about. Bankrate's hidden cost work put the average United States homeowner's non-mortgage ownership costs around $21,400 a year, with maintenance alone near $8,800. That is not background noise. That is almost another payment living inside the house. So before you say Nashville is cooling, Dallas is strong, Orlando is discounted, or Buffalo is affordable, ask the only serious question: what does this home cost after the mortgage? If I were advising a Dallas buyer, I would not begin with the kitchen. I would begin with escrow. Texas is the place where a buyer can win the negotiation and still lose the monthly math. The Dallas Fed found Texas homeowners' insurance premiums rose 73% from 2019 to 2024, about $1,400 more. Add property taxes, roof exposure, hail risk, and special districts, and the price cut can become less impressive. That is why Dallas-Fort Worth buyers must demand the tax history, insurance quote, roof age, and subdivision fees before celebrating any discount. A seller may drop $10,000, but one bad annual carrying cost surprise can take that victory back. Orlando needs a different warning, because the trap is not only numbers, it is emotion. People buy Central Florida with dreams attached: sunshine, rentals, parks, visitors, family trips, and the idea that somebody will always want the house. But Realtor.com linked reporting showed Orlando Kissimmee Sanford had about 20.7% of listings with price cuts, and one local advisor said Orange County saw 750 price cuts in 1 week. That tells me buyer fatigue is real. So what should a buyer do? Stress test the property as a normal long-term home, not just a lifestyle story. If insurance rises, if homeowner association fees jump, if rental rules tighten, does the payment still survive? Buffalo forces you to count a different category: age. A low listing price can make a buyer feel safe, but an old house does not care how excited you are. Realtor.com linked reporting put Buffalo among the few major markets still under $300,000, while active listings were up about 20.5%. That gives buyers more options, but it also gives them more ways to make a lazy mistake. In Buffalo, I would price the furnace, roof, windows, basement moisture, insulation, taxes, and winter utilities before I admired the charm. The move is not to fear Buffalo. The move is to separate a solid, affordable house from a cheap house waiting to collect repair money. Now compare Indiana with South Carolina, because this is where strategy changes. Indiana has one of the better hidden cost stories. Bankrate linked reporting placed it among the lowest cost states for non-mortgage ownership expenses. That gives buyers breathing room, but it does not mean they can sleepwalk through the inspection. South Carolina is the opposite kind of opportunity. Its population grew 1.5% from July 2024 to July 2025, the fastest state growth rate in the country, driven by domestic migration. That demand can support Greenville, Columbia, Charleston, and coastal markets, but growth also raises the stakes. In Indiana, protect condition. In South Carolina, verify flood exposure, insurance, taxes, jobs, and the exact county. Here is the checklist I would use before trusting any of these markets. Do not start with the house photo. Start with the carrying cost. Ask for the tax bill. Get a real insurance quote. Check homeowner association fees. Estimate utilities. Price the roof. Heating and cooling system, windows, plumbing, and foundation risk. Then ask the question most buyers avoid. If I had to sell this home in 3 years, would the next buyer respect this location? Nashville may test income. Dallas may test escrow. Orlando may test insurance. Buffalo may test repairs. Indiana may test speed. South Carolina may test flood risk. Same country. Different traps. That is why the payment must be studied like a business plan. Investors need to be even colder than regular buyers. A homeowner can emotionally justify a payment because they love the house. An investor cannot do that. Rent has to beat the debt, taxes, insurance, repairs, vacancy, property management, and future capital expenses. In Dallas, one insurance jump can damage cash flow. In Orlando, one homeowner association rule can change the rental plan. In Buffalo, one roof or furnace can erase a year of profit. In South Carolina, one flood zone mistake can make financing and insurance painful. In Indiana, the deal may look boring, but boring only works if the numbers are honest. Do not buy appreciation as the plan. Buy cash flow with protection. Sellers also need to hear this clearly. The buyer walking through your house today is not the buyer from the panic years. That buyer was rushing. This buyer is comparing. They are looking at your roof, your taxes, your insurance, your price cut, your days on market, and the new construction down the road. In Nashville, buyers know they have more time. In Dallas, they know builders and resale homes are fighting for attention. In Orlando, they know fees and insurance can change the deal. In Buffalo, they know old houses need proof. If a seller wants top dollar now, the house has to defend the price. Clean condition, honest pricing, and realistic concessions matter again. So here is my final read. The hidden payment trap is not one city, one state, or one bad market. It is a new way buyers are being forced to think. The listing price gets attention, but the full monthly payment decides survival. Nashville, Dallas, Orlando, Buffalo, Indiana, and South Carolina all still have opportunity, but none of them should be bought casually. Before you fall in love with the price, test the payment. Before you believe the neighborhood story, check the resale street. Before you trust the seller, verify the numbers. Real estate can still build wealth in this country, but only for the buyer who understands this rule: buy the house you can carry, not the dream you can barely hold.